Sandy Claus makeup tutorial. This is actually my costume for this year. I don't know what the actual costume will be, but the makeup's done. So anyway, if you want to see how to create this look, keep watching and enjoy. I'm starting out by adding Pros-Aid to my forehead and horns to stick them on. This is my first time using Pros-Aid, and one thing I should have done is remove the foundation where I put these horns. I accidentally kept hitting them when bending over to grab stuff, and eventually they started to separate just a bit at the top. I created these horns using Model Magic, which is a lightweight foam, perfect for these kinds of things. Though make sure to let them dry completely. I made these the night before and the center was a little squishy. Next, I'm figuring out where I'm going to be putting the mouth. I began sketching it out. These lines don't need to be perfect. You can always remove it if you mess up. With the candy corn stick-ons I got from Michaels, I'm sketching out where the teeth will go. I used the same candy corn so that I didn't wreck any of the other ones. Once I had all the teeth in place, I created the full smile. With Mayron's black face paint, I started filling in the mouth. I went further in around the teeth so that when I put the candy corn on and it's not exactly where I measured it, it would still have the black covering over it. I'm using a small craft brush on the outside areas and then a larger one to fill in the rest. I first attempted to stick these on with eyelash glue, but they were not sticking at all. So I once again used Pros-Aid. If you change the position of the tooth, don't worry, just cover that spot up with black. To add the gums, I used Lit Cosmetics Firecracker and their brush to go in between the teeth. This actually took quite a while to do. If you hit a tooth, just simply wipe it away with your finger. Just make sure to do this before it dries. Around the horns, I'm adding a shadow. Only thing to keep in mind is where the Pros-Aid is. If it went outside where you put the horns, it can make blending the shadow a bit more difficult. Thankfully for me, it was mainly by the hairline that I had this issue. Next, I'm going to be adding the gummy worm. I made the little gummy worm from gelatin. If you want to learn how to use gelatin, Glam & Gore has a great tutorial on how to make a gelatin heart. I just followed her recipe and used the dropper to create S's. Once they were cooled, I painted the backside with face paint. They remained clear and shiny, so it looked more real. I'd advise not using real gummies though. The sugar will melt against the heat of your skin and you'll just end up being sticky. For the cotton candy eyebrow, I took a face paint palette, added a small amount of water to a cup, and started dipping my finger back and forth between the palette and the water. The water started to turn a lovely purple. Once it was a rich enough color, I dipped the Q-tip in, then let it dry. Then when it was all dry, I pulled it apart and glued it on with eyelash glue. For the cotton candy eyeshadow, I started covering the whole eye with Sugar Pills Taco. This will help the shadow go on much lighter. For once, we don't want the shadows to be neon. With Sugar Pills Dolly Pop, I brushed it onto the inner corner to the middle. Beside that, I used Sugar Pills Poison Plum, very lightly. If it's going on too dark, mix it with white. With an eyeliner pen, I lined my eyes and winged it out. On the other side, it's time to add the cupcake. I first put down NYX Jumbo Pencil in milk in the shape of a frosting. Then packed Sugar Pills Dolly Pop over top. I added a brown line, which is actually the cake part. With Mayron's white, I began adding the highlights in the frosting. I changed this a few times until I got it to look the way I wanted. With the same white, I started adding lines going down so it looked like cupcake liner. On the lower lash line, I went from the pink to the inner corner to the brown on the outer corner. Pink was Dolly Pop and the brown was from BH. At the very top of the cupcake, I glued a pearl on. I added the sprinkles, which were little hearts and circles from a jewel package that I found. Any small jewels will work for this. I then lined my eyes with eyeliner pen and winged it out as well. I obviously had to add glitter to the cupcake. I used Pink Flamingo from Lit Cosmetics. I also brought the glitter onto the other eye in the inner corner. Beside that, I used Lit Cosmetics Boogie Wonder. I started it off as just a liner, but then I thought it looked much better as a full lid thing. Next, I added mascara and false lashes. Now it's time to add the rest of the gummy worms. I used eyelash glue to stick them on. I only glued the tops on so the bottom could freely dangle around. I had these little candies from years ago. I actually used them in my original Candy Witch tutorial. I lined my waterline with NYX Jumbo Pencil in milk. Time to add the claw! I'm first painting my hand black. Then, with Prozade, I added glue to both my finger and my claw. I created this as well with Model Magic. I painted these with nail polish, and some of them I actually covered with salt to make it look like sugar. Side note, salt melts this stuff, but I used nail polish to paint these because I'm short of time, and I acted as a barrier for the salt. For my actual costume, I'm probably going to be using fake nails because I can't do anything with these claws. And that's it! You're now a candy-eating, rainbow-colored monster. Hooray!